Good morning, this is Victor Jimenez with Sewer Line Check Professionals. I'm here at 2617 South Burnside Avenue in Los Angeles, and I'm in the process of performing a video examination of the main sewer line. Now, the main sewer line is a portion of the waste drainage piping which is exterior to the structure. It lies underground and connects the building drain line system to the public sewer. The building drain line system then is a portion or portions of the waste drainage piping which are underneath or interior to the structure. Today's video examination is not focused on the building drain line system. So if further evaluation is desired regarding the building drain line system, a licensed plumbing contractor should be contacted, or a specialty building drain line video examination can be set up through our office. Alright, now I've accessed today's main sewer line from a 3.5-inch main sewer line cleanout located on the right side of the property, running along the right wall of the structure. And we pushed here about 73 feet to the connection point of public sewer. Now, the line runs in a fairly diagonal path towards basically the corner of the property, at which point it levels out, or straightens out and heads out towards the center of the street to connect up with that public sewer. Now, pulling away from public sewer, we are in a 6-inch diameter concrete sewer piping. So the concrete piping exhibits similar characteristics to other materials such as clay, in that it does have a long surface life expectancy. However, it is more susceptible to damage during earthquake and seismic activity, and it also has a tendency to let in roots at the joint areas. Now, there is also one other issue, which is that in 2007, the City of Los Angeles approved an ordinance which basically states that concrete sewer laterals, essentially the portions of the system that run under the sidewalk and the street, if you have a concrete sewer lateral, that it needs to be rehabilitated with a lining system. A lining system is essentially a fibrous plastic sleeve that's run on the inside of a sewer pipe. It's then inflated and filled with a resin, and it essentially forms a pipe within a pipe, so to speak. Now, in some instances, this is not going to be an issue. However, if any kind of building permit is trying to be obtained for the structure, in terms of new building, if you're going to have an addition on, or you're going to build another structure or add to the existing structure, it is possible that this might come up with the city, and they might request that the line get inspected, at which point they'll see that the concrete sewer lateral does not have a lining system, at which point they will require that one gets installed into the system. Alright, now, let me go back a little bit, because there's one part of the system it's not here. Essentially, they might require that a lining system gets put in. I can't sit here and tell you that the line is not functioning because of that, but there is one issue going on with this section of concrete, in that the concrete is itself already broken. Here, located on the left side there, just at 50 feet, that gap is enough that the line is actually pierced. You can kind of see the small void being created on that left side, and it's already in need of some rehabilitation. Now, a lining system may or may not actually be the resolution of this issue. This still might require coming in and actually digging up this portion. Going ahead and locating this out, this is essentially under the sidewalk. It's located at a depth of about 5.5 feet deep, and corner of the property just on the other side where the sidewalk is, and that's going to have to get repaired. Just taking a photograph here for the report. Alright, now pulling away from that, we move from this concrete sewer lateral into a section of vitrified clay. I mentioned this earlier. Vitrified clay exhibits very common characteristics to the concrete. It does last a long time, same thing. However, it's more susceptible to damage during earthquakes and seismic activity, and it also has a tendency to let in roots to the joint areas. it appears, and there's indicators that the line has been recently cleared, so I'm only seeing some really, really minor roots at these joint areas. If the line hasn't been cleaned recently, then that's a really good sign. However, with all the shrubbery and things that I'm seeing in here, it would more likely indicate that the line was recently cleared. Now here's our second break in the line, located at 36 feet. There's a crack running along this left side of the vitrified clay pipe. So this is about 36 feet, basically right around the location of the shed on the right side of the yard. And this is located at a depth of about 3.5 feet deep. So that repair would also need to get corrected. And we're still on this section of vitrified clay. And, alright, here we have another break. This is located at 18 feet. And there's another break running along the right side of the property. So this is essentially right near the tree here located in the front yard next to that shed area. And this is at a depth of about 3 feet deep. And now the line's making a slight right turn. Coming back towards the property, and this is where we change material again. So we're actually right now in a section of cast iron piping. Cast iron piping is a material that typically has a surface life of about 70 to 80 years, and what we start looking for in these kind of circumstances is what's the deterioration level of the pipe, because unlike the concrete or the vitrified clay, cast iron only has so long, has such a surface life, and after a certain amount of time, it will inevitably fail in every circumstance. Whereas the vitrified clay pipe has the potential of lasting much longer than that. Even possibly up to hundreds of years if left undamaged. So here we're looking at this section. There's two concerns I have with this. First, is that the pipe itself is already showing signs of kind of the beginning stages of failure. The rest and scale buildup's getting kind of excessive, but the other concern here is that there's essentially a slight misalignment with the pipe, where there's that connection from this vitrified clay into this section of cast iron, and it's creating a little bit of a belly in the pipe. So what happens here is that we have pretty much constant standing water. That's only going to basically, it's only going to increase the speed of deterioration of the line. And we have a section of cast iron essentially about 10 feet long. And essentially this cast iron, while it might still be functioning, is basically towards the end of its service life, and a replacement should be considered. It's not necessarily something that needs to be engaged on today. The line will still keep functioning, but the deterioration will only essentially continue to the point where a full replacement will be necessary. Alright, let's go ahead and clearing off the camera lens a little bit, best as we can here. Alright, so that is the main sewer line cleanout. That's our access point for today. This component right there. The line essentially runs out towards the fence, runs along the fence, and then connects up with the public sewer, which is out in the street over there. Alright, with that, we're going to be wrapping up the video portion of the examination for today. Once again, this is Victor Jimenez with Sewer Line Check Professionals. Thank you very much and have a pleasant day.